Our day started really super early.
It was dark outside.
My alarm clock woke me up at 3:40 a.m.
I'm not used to waking up that early.
We had registration at 4:30. By 5 o'clock, we were all on buses and heading out to Branson Airport.
I've never flown before. I was definitely a little nervous getting on the plane.
By 7 o'clock, we were already on the plane and taking off.
I was like, oh man, this is happening.
So the CitizenTrip is the College of the Ozarks' opportunity to take college students to our nation's capital.
The students who have entered in the fall of 2019, their senior year, they will be taking CitizenTrip 401. And we're actually doing a trial run with a group of students right now.
We're cramming as much as we can into 2 days and go home very well informed, but very, very tired when it's over.
We really hope that the students come away with a further understanding of the college's patriotic goal, an understanding of American heritage, civic responsibility, love of country, and a willingness to defend that.
I believe the College of the Ozarks is the only one doing this type of thing. I mean, we're the only ones that are willing to spend the type of money required to bring this many students and see this many things at our nation's capital.
Most students have to show financial need to have any chance of getting admitted to the College of the Ozarks. Well, if they have to show financial need to get in, how are they supposed to pay for a trip to Washington, D.C.? Well, they won't. So we do that because of the generosity of people all over the United States who realize how very different this college is.
The college truly believes this is an investment in the future, not just the future of the students that are here on this trip right now, but for generations to come.
We think it's a must. If we want to say that we have a patriotic mission and we want to do everything we can to be intentional with trying to teach these kids about their past and about what it means to be an American, we need to come to our nation's capital, see it firsthand.
Well, this is a once-in-a-lifetime kind of opportunity to enhance our education about our nation, about the role that those who have served our country play.
The first place that we went to this morning was Arlington National Cemetery, which as soon as we pulled up was just an overwhelming experience because you see the tombstones upon tombstones.
I couldn't help but get a little bit emotional. Some of those that served were only 20 years old, and that's how old I am now. And it's like that could be one of my classmates. It's just crazy to think that someone my age or younger could make that big of a sacrifice.
You gain a respect, and even more just deeper respect for the people who've served.
And I got to thinking I too should be willing to sacrifice, willing to defend this great country that we call our home. If not me, then who?
Right now we're at the Museum of the Bible, and it's been really great.
I was really excited about coming here because not just the history of our country, but the history of our faith. And to have this in our capital shows that we have not forgotten where we've come from. Tonight we have come over to see some of the monuments, the World War II Memorial, the Vietnam Memorial, and at those two places we got to hear from two gentlemen who actually served in those wars.
It is an honor always to speak to any group from the College of the Ozarks, and it's always an honor to speak as a World War II veteran. People don't understand what it's like to die for the country. We had no helicopters back in those days. You either died or you lived, and most died. They were screaming in unworldly kinds of voices. The morphine had worn off. They were all severely wounded. Many of them died before they could get them to the doctor. Young people ought to know what their forebears went through.
It makes you really think about what they did for us and the freedoms that we are afforded now in this country.
I fought in Vietnam in 1968, 1969. Deep divisions in our nation at that time. We didn't lose the war on the battlefield of Vietnam. Those Americans fought with bravery and courage. It was lost in our hearts and our minds. The American public believed that we could not win that war. They had lost the will to fight. And America is the strongest nation on earth, and we're her citizens. And she'll be the strongest nation on earth as long as we are willing to fight for her. And fight and win is what we must do.
It was a totally different perspective than I feel like we talk about in history. We talk about the honor of the soldiers, but hearing the actual suffering and hearing the hardship, that it wasn't an easy sacrifice, but they made it anyway. It gave me a different perspective on the actual sacrifice they're making. It's not a small one.
Right now, I'm looking directly at the Lincoln Memorial, and that's amazing. Like, I really just can't put it into words. I was talking to Candace earlier, and she told me, wow, are we awake right now? Is this real? Is this actually happening? And I thought to myself, really, am I awake?
So it is 10:56, so I can't even calculate how many hours that has been, but yeah, it's been a great day.
This is just the first day, and I am so expectant and excited for tomorrow and what it holds. It's been a crazy day, but so worth it, so worth it.
I mean, how can you start a day off any better than going to see the White House?
For me, being in the White House was just really amazing in the sense that we were walking where history's walked.
Today we got to meet the Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence.
He had an open Q&A with us. He thanked us and said we were the greatest students in the United States.
He kind of knew what we were about, which is kind of big that the Vice President knew what this small college in Branson, Missouri was all about. He was prepared to talk about hard work youth.
The second day at Washington, D.C. has been a lot of things compacted into one. We went to the Smithsonian Museum of American History, went to the National Archives Center.
Standing in front of the Constitution, it was just really amazing to see that those are more than just words on paper, that they have actually changed and developed our country into what it is. We're going to the finishing up our visit by going to the Capitol, which is amazing. It's our nation's capital.
The Capitol, we got to just tour the building. We go into the rotunda, and that was beautiful. Learned a lot about history and about the House of Representatives and the Senate. It really is such a blessing just to be standing here in Washington, D.C.
I'm grateful for this opportunity because I would never be able to do this on my own.
I haven't spent any money on this trip, and I'm so blessed and thankful that our college would provide us with this experience.
I'm going to leave this place with so many memories. It's truly eye-opening and it brings to life what I've learned in the classroom.
It does make me excited to just learn more about our country. People have worked so hard in creating this country and protecting this country, and I think it's something that as a citizen I need to be informed and be invested in.
Learning about American history is one thing, but just being able to be here, seeing it like live, it's just a whole nother thing I just can't even put into words.
Makes me proud to be American, even more so than I was before coming here.